Assalamu alaikum, dear students. This is Shamshad Ali, Department of Technology, Sarad University. Uh, Today we are going to learn about the environmental pollution and the types of pollution. This is our week fifth, or lecture fifth for the seventh semester, fourth year BSc Engineering Technology Civil. You can access this lecture at portal.suit.edu.pk. So let's begin. Environmental pollution. What does mean by the environmental pollution? So pollution is the addition of contaminants into the natural environment that causes detrimental effects to nature, on natural resources and mankind. Any unnatural and negative changes in all the dimensions like chemical, physical, and biological characteristics of any component of the ecosystem, for example, air, water, or soil, which can cause harmful effects on various forms of life and properties called environmental pollution. Here you can see in this picture at the seashore there are many type of the waste pollution basically. These are the solid waste which contain the polyethylene and tires, etc. So basically the pollution is the addition of contaminants into a natural environment that cause the detrimental effects to nature, natural resources, and mankind. Now, what is mean by the pollutants? Any substance which causes harmful effects or discomfort in the organisms, then that particular substance may be called as the pollutant. Material that causes pollution are of two types. Now, pollutant can be further divided into two broad categories. The first one is persistent pollutants, those which remain consistent in the environment for a long period of time without any change in its original form. Those pollutants which cannot change their form, in the form in which they are added to the environment. Non-persistent pollutants, opposite of the persistent pollutant, those which are break down in simple form. If the process is done by the living organism, then they are referred to biodegradable pollutants. Those pollutants which can be degraded with the passage of time with the help of the living organism. They may also call the degradable pollutant or the some organic compounds, those pollutants which contain the organic compound. For another perspective, pollutants can be classified as follows: primary pollutants and secondary pollutants. Primary pollutants are those which remain in the form in which they were added to the environment. For example, the plastic. It may change its form due to heating. If you heat up or you burn this, so it can cause some physical changes. But the plastic is the pollutant which remain in the same form in which they were added to the environment. The secondary pollutants. Now, the secondary pollutant, they are formed due to the interaction of primary pollutants amongst themselves by an interaction of nitrogens and hydrocarbons. So moving on, into the next level according to their existence in the nature. Now pollutants can be further classified according to their existence in the nature. Quantitative pollutants. These are already present in the atmosphere, but they become pollution when their concentration level reaches to a particular level which is above a threshold limit. So those pollutant lies in the category of the quantitative pollutants. The next one is the qualitative pollutants. They are man-made pollutants. Example, fungicides and the herbicides, etc. Now, according to the origin, man-made pollutants. Those pollutants which were made or which are being made by man. And the next one is the natural pollutants. According to the nature of disposal, biodegradable pollutant, non-biodegradable pollutants. Now we are coming to our next topic, which is the types of pollution. The first one is the air pollution. When the presence of one or more disadvantages content in such quality and for such duration as it is disastrous or tend to be disastrous to human. When there is the presence of some disadvantages, gases, etc., which can degrade the quality of the air. So this phenomenon is called the air pollution. As we can see in these both picture, in the left side we can see that there is some industrial zone which in which there is emission in the chimneys of some manufacturing processes, and here we have some gases and some fog like or smoke like smoke or fog, which is in the form of the air pollution. So these are basically the air pollution. The next one is the water pollution, the most dangerous pollution. Addition of certain substances such as organic, inorganic, biological, and radiological to the water, which degrades the water quality and makes it unhealthy for use. If there is contamination and there is some type of organic, inorganic, biological, or radiological pollutant in the water, which can degrade the quality of the water and which cannot be used for the drinking purpose, for the irrigation purpose, and it may also harm the marine life. So this type of phenomenon is called the water pollution. And there is such quantity, such kind of pollutant in the water. If we can see here in the top picture, there are some kind of pollutant in the water, and here in the bottom you can also see that there are a lot of waste in the surface of the water. Water pollution is not only confined to the surface water, but also spread to groundwater, sea, and ocean. The pollution of water is not confined to the surface water. We have polluted our surface water many years ago, several decades before. But now we are going to pollute our groundwater as well, like sea and ocean and our springs, etc. So this is a kind of alarming dangers to the living. The third type of pollution is the soil pollution. Just like the water and air pollution, the addition of unwanted substances to the soil which negatively affects physical, chemical, and biological properties of soil and reduces its productivity. The addition of contaminants and addition of the polluting to the soil which can cause negative effects physically, chemically, biological property of soil and reduces productivity. If we can see the agriculture point of view, so the those zone which is recommended for the solid waste disposal, as we can see in the right picture, in the left picture, this soil cannot be used for agriculture purpose because the waste can reduces its productivity, its fertility. Just like in the right picture, you can see the due to the waste, there is no way to harvest crops, and it can also reduce the engineering properties of the soil as well. The fourth type of pollution is the noise pollution. Unwanted sound is called the noise pollution. It refers to the undesirable levels of noises caused by human activity that disturb the standard of living in the affected area. If we can see that if there is some kind of sound which affect badly your environment, so it lies in the category of the noise pollution. The unwanted sound lies in the category of the noise pollution. So it's also a kind of pollution. The fifth type of pollution is the radioactive pollution. It is the most dangerous type of pollution. This type of pollution is rare but extremely harmful. This type of the pollution is rare. It is rare but extremely harmful and even deadly when it occurs. Because of its intensity and the difficulty of reversing damage, there are strict government regulations to control radioactive pollution. Okay, as you can see in the right of the picture, so the sources of radioactive pollution is basically the nuclear power plant accidents and leakage. If there is leakage in the nuclear power plant, as you know that there is a leakage in the Korean nuclear power plant, so that was also a type of the nuclear radioactive pollutants. Improper nuclear waste disposal. If you dispose the nuclear waste improperly, so it can also cause the radioactive pollution. And uranium mining operations. Radiation pollution can cause birth defects. Remember that it can cause the birth effects, cancer, sterilization, and other health problems for human and wildlife pollution. It can also sterilize the soil and contribute to water and air pollution as well. So moving on, the sixth type of pollution is the thermal pollution. It is the excess heat that creates undesirable effects over a long period of time. The Earth has a natural thermal cycle, but excessive temperature increase can be considered a rare type of pollution with long-term effects. Many types of thermal pollution are limited to areas near their source. If there is some kind of industry or something which can cause the heat, So the nearby area is affected by those type of heat or excessive temperature. But multiple sources can have wider impacts over a greater geographical area. Thermal pollution may be caused by the power plants, urban spread, air pollution, particulates that trap heat, etc. Deforestation is also causes the thermal pollution. Loss of temperature, moderating water supplies. The temperature increase As temperature increase, minor climate changes may be observed, and wildlife population may be unable to recover from rapid changes. These kinds of environmental pollution can cause the aquatic life to suffer or die due to the increased temperature. As you can see that here in the Sawat Valley, the trout fish cannot survive above the 30 degrees centigrade. So so the marine life can or aquatic life to suffer or die due to the increased temperature, can cause discomfort to communities dealing with higher temperature, and will affect plant life and around the area. So this is a type of pollution which is very common nowadays. The next type of pollution is the light pollution. Light pollution is the overlighting of an area that is considered fleshy. As you can see in these pictures, that these areas are considered fleshy. So this overlighting of the area lies in the category of pollution. This is basically a pollution. Here in this picture, you can also see this is the pollution. These are the pollution. Sources of these type of pollution include the large cities. You can see these both are the large cities. Ads and advertising. As you can see that some signboards nowadays have some flashy lights. Nighttime sporting events and other nighttime entertainment. Light pollution makes it impossible to see stars, therefore interfering with astronomical observation and personal enjoyment. If it is near residential area, light pollution can also degrade the quality of life for residents as well. Light pollution uses more energy by shining more light up instead of down, meaning you need brighter bulbs for the same amount of light, may affect human health and our sleep cycles, and most importantly, corrupts our kids' telescope and their curiosity. So, moving on to the next type of the pollution, which is called the visual pollution. Visual pollution eye sources can be caused by the other pollution or just by the undesirable, unattractive peaks. As you can see in these pictures, that behind these uh, electric cable, there is some good scenery as well. But this type of the conjunction of the wires and etc. can cause the visual pollution as well. As you can see here in this picture, that a lot of the boards etc. can cause the visual pollution. It may lower the quality of life in certain areas or could impact the property value and personal enjoyment. Sources of visual pollution include the mm, power lines, construction areas, billboards, and advertising. Neglected areas or objects such as polluted vacant fields or abandoned buildings. While visual pollution has few immediate health or environmental effects, what causing the eyesores can have detrimental effects. So this is it for today. and hope you will learn something about the pollution, types of pollutants, and types of pollution as well. In the next class, inshallah, we will learn about the detailed sources of these pollution, that what can be caused by the what can cause the air pollution, the water pollution, the heat pollution, sorry, thermal pollution, the radioactive pollution, the visual pollution, the and so on, and effects of pollution. We can also learn, inshallah, the effects of the harmful effects of these pollution. So, thank you so much. Hope you learned something. Take care and goodbye.